same nails though. But I had another.
You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. You are watching the Jane the... Oh, I feel like I have to yell right now. Sorry. You are watching the Jane the Virgin.
You can yell. We're excited.
We're super excited.
You're watching the Jane the Virgin After Show, Chapter 22. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our page. Find us on iTunes, on SoundCloud. Rate us 5 stars. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think so we can bring you so much more. My name is Stephanie Giorgi, and you can find me at Stephanie Giorgi. And my hosts to my left...
Madison Chase Fitness, your trainer to the stars and the star in you. And I'm also a virgin, your voice of virginity. And you can find me at Madison Chase Fit.
Ooh, ooh.
Woo woo. And hey guys, I'm Giselle Ugarte. You can find me at Giselle Ugarte. Giselle Ugarte.
Ugarte.
On Monday nights. And to
We have a special guest.
She's back.
My name is Rachel DiPillo.
The pillow.
Rachel
D.
DiPillo.
You look like Rachel D. You look like Rachel D right now.
I'm repping Rachel D tonight.
I see you. I feel
feeling it.
Yeah, I
You guys
feel
were
it.
freaking out.
Guy, yes. So to begin the episode, like, whoa.
Whoa.
Because that's what happened today. It was very dramatic, but it was very satisfying because I love the drama in my life.
Just
The drama on the table.
Oh, and she spilled the water.
At least you didn't spill it on a cell phone, so that's good.
I know.
Yeah, let's keep those
Just
away.
wait.
Yeah.
We're just 1 minute into the show, people. Sorry, Steph.
A lot happens in this episode. A lot happens in this episode, but it
The
all
season finale.
Right, the season finale, but it all revolves around Jane having this baby, and then the emotions that everyone is going through throughout this day and throughout the like maybe 2-3 days this goes through. And we start with seeing a conversation between Jane and Xiomara, and they're discussing how they're gonna do if the baby comes while Xiomara's in Vegas doing the show with Rogelio. And so she
But
just
first, the flashback.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to talk about the flashback, right?
you know what? I didn't see the flashback
Okay.
actually.
So thank you. Paper towel cleaning up my water. So the flashback was actually the scene where Jane's having the baby
I'm so
and
sorry.
Xiomara.
No, Xiomara is having the
Xiomara's
baby.
Right,
having
but
the
I'm
baby.
saying it's exactly the
Yes.
same, but Xiomara's having the baby.
Yes.
And Abuela is telling her to push, otherwise she'll
She's
yank the
gonna
baby
yank
out.
the baby
And
out.
It was the cutest thing ever.
Which, by the
And
way,
then she also said she'll come early, quick, and something else.
and that they only
And it's a
deliver
girl.
girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, girl.
by the way, the girl that they casted as the young
She's
Xiomara,
so cute.
well, no, it looked exactly like her.
She
to me.
looks
Yeah.
exactly
Perfect.
like her. Perfect match. Good
But that was
casting.
really great because we'll see that little connection towards the end of the show. I don't know why I forgot that we saw that part. And then we see Xiomara and Jane in the kitchen afterwards discussing what
Making
they're
her
going to do.
favorite grilled cheese sandwich.
Making
It
her
always
grilled
looks
cheese
so
sandwich.
good. I've never had a grilled cheese sandwich like that, and I kind of want one. It has
so
like,
what
it
did
looks
you
like,
do to it?
It looks like it's
just a
like
fat grilled cheese.
It's like a French bread or something. Is it a
Okay.
different kind of bread?
It's
and
like a
then
brioche.
it's like a brioche, and then the butter on top, and then it's grilled, and then it's like how many 4 different cheeses? It's
3 or
making
4.
me hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I
It's a
digress.
hefty grilled cheese. It's not your typical Wonder Bread craft
Sounds
singles. Like
like
it's
it.
a.
And
They don't do no Wonder Bread on that show.
They sure don't. And no Kraft singles, because I don't even think that's really cheese. But we digress. Okay, so let's get back to the story. Okay, so she's...
But Jane reassures Xiomara that everything will be okay and that she'll let her know as soon as it happens. But Xiomara tries to stress to her that she has to let her know because in their family, things happen quickly. So then they discuss that. That's all good to go.
But I like the practical joke that Jane plays on her.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
What
the
did
middle-
she do?
She pretends
She's
to
like,
have like a contraction. It's like, the
baby's coming.
The baby's coming. And
And
then
she starts laughing.
then she laughs. I thought it was
It was
cute.
too easy.
It was
Yeah.
good. And Xiomara's reaction was so sweet. Especially
was
because she was
very
freaking out. She's like, oh
sweet.
my God, you're going away. Yeah.
And it's not happening at all. Go ahead.
Can I just say that I felt this whole time, and I've always said this, but I feel like you can you're not watching actors play characters. You're watching Jane. You're watching Xiomara. Every single emotion, every single contraction, I felt like it was actually happening.
Oh, yeah.
And I was crying with them, and I was laughing with them, and clapping with them, and gasping with them, and that's part of why I love the show, and I feel like so many people are connecting emotionally to the show and freaking out about #Jane having a baby.
Yeah.
I know, it's one of those things where, you know, in the movies, you don't want to even know about the real life because you just need this to be their real life.
I
'cause it's
know.
so
I'm
perfect.
like, I want it to be my real life.
I wanted
Some
it
of
to
it.
be. That's why I was so
Not
happy.
all of it.
I know. That's why I was so happy that Ralph was just speaking to Lisa and saying how he, you know, he's justifying like the breakup, but then how it needed to happen, but it wasn't it. And finally, Lisa's in her right state of mind to be like, no, you need to tell her. That's why all this is happening. You're an idiot, man.
Yeah.
And just say something about it. How do you guys? I mean,
I like that this is the first time we see Jane kind of get some balls. Like, she turns the situation around with her going back to her five-year reunion and not really wanting to go, but then her friend is convincing her that she needs to go. And then the mean girl kind of teaches her a lesson. And she uses that lesson to help put Magda in prison. I don't know if we want to talk about that. Well, I guess I just did. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. No, but that was great from the last episode.
Yeah.
But then that helps out because that puts him in a weird situation because then Raph, after that happening, starts to kind of like
he does the same thing.
Gets sweet on Petra, which ruins the next moment in the scene where they're in the hospital and Jane is even talking to Xiomara about it, saying how we actually had a little bit of a moment. They had another checkup, and the lady, what is that person called who does the
ultrasound technician?
Ultrasound, perfect, thank you. She's like, oh, look at there's hair, and then they're like, oh, are you a weird hairy baby? And you know they're just flirting awkwardly, and then he's like, well, let's just take a picture. You'll love the moment.
A selfie with his head next to the greasy stomach.
Right.
Wrong
Except
time.
for who's
It's an ussy. A selfie is technically by yourself. An ussy is when there's more than one.
Oh, okay. So they took an ussy.
They took an ussy.
I like that.
Too much.
Why?
I know, Rachel. I have to be technical about these things because I just realized what thought is. Do you guys know what thought is? This is totally off subject.
What thoughts are?
Thought. It's that hoe over there.
Oh my God.
Okay, I just learned that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. So, yes, they took an
Some, like,
ussy.
gangsta vibes, 'cause I ain't heard that
And
yet.
she's talking about Petra.
Oh, that thought shows up on the screen.
The thought shows up on the screen. Exactly.
She sure does and ruins it.
I hate that
ruins that
sounds
moment.
like thought. I'm never
know.
gonna think of
No.
thoughts.
I think she's saying thought, like let's thought the
THOT.
it
That
sounds like
hoe over there.
THOUGHT.
No, it's definitely not that. It's
know.
the THOT, Petra.
Petra.
All
So she shows up in the picture, and then that ruins the moment.
No, she actually is calling
That's what I'm
Rob.
saying. She shows up. She
Yeah.
shows up on the phone.
Heifer.
And
I'm sorry.
did you say heifer?
I did.
Okay, girl, get it. So she shows up on the phone, and it ruins the moment because
It does.
Jane justifies the situation, and she's like, okay, good. I needed that to happen because
Yeah.
there's more reason why we're not together.
That's exactly
and
why.
Raph was like, it couldn't have been the worst timing. So they thought the
Ever.
opposite thing. So
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
still on different pages. And it kind of bothers me because I need them to be on the same page.
But I do feel like Jane is on his page. She's just trying to think with her head and think about what's best for the baby.
She's protecting
and
her
she's
heart.
like she's telling herself something. It's like I'm definitely a mind over matter kind of a person. So it's like I have to tell myself, no, this is a blessing in disguise. This is for the good. This is for whatever. Even if inside I'm going, oh, I really wanted that
Yeah.
to happen.
She's just protecting her heart. She has her guard up now
She
because
said
of
she
what
would think
happened.
about it. Which we'll get to in a minute.
But that
At
wasn't
the
until
very
later.
end.
So at that moment, she's still just trying to like defend the situation. She's like, okay, don't trip because we all know how Raph used to be, which goes into this next part that we continue to hear him talk about how he wants to get Petra to sell because he's talking to Luisa about it. And that's funny to see him put his game on her. He spits that
He
game
sure
when he
did.
checks out her legs.
Yes. And he tries to act like he is forgetting, like he's not even hearing her.
I was like,
He's
look
checking
at
out
her
whose
legs.
legs?
Petra's.
Petra. And she had on a super short stank mama dress.
When does she never have on a super short
Exactly.
stank mama dress?
Even when she doesn't try to, her legs are just so
Incredible.
long.
She has an incredible
Anything.
body. Yeah, she does. I agree.
No, they
So
look,
does he do this on purpose?
He wants
He's
to manipulate
manipulating her. Yeah.
Okay, and that's what he talks about at the end of this episode. Disclaimer: I just saw the last part of the episode.
Okay.
I know I sound so stupid right
No,
now.
you don't. You
But-
totally don't.
So he's manipulating her to get what?
to buy
to
her.
get her to sell. He just needs her to be in her
his
vulnerable
shares.
state so that she can just start doing whatever he like decides to put her in that direction. Ultimately, to get her to sell, to get her out of his life. So he looks at her legs
And get Jane into his life.
and get Jane into his life. So he looks at her legs and checks it out, and it was just so funny because he does such a good job, and especially because she just goes so gaga. Like, you know, throughout the would you say throughout the season we see her as such a tough person, but we genuinely see her in her vulnerable state, which I think is like wonderful acting, because I'm like, girl, you're tripping, stop.
Yeah.
But I feel like, is that vulnerability for Raph's heart or for Raph's wallet? Because I feel like we've seen her in a vulnerable state a few times when it's been, you know, her reputation's at stake, or her finances are at stake, or her, you know, power is at stake.
I think it's both, because if you would put your mom in jail just to try to get your man back that doesn't even want you anymore because he's with somebody else and he's having a baby with somebody else, I think
that the money has a lot to do with it, but Raph, after a very long time, after Milos, after all these other things, was her first form of stability, and at the end of the day was her husband. So really, she just wants to go back to where she was, because before that was all going down, she wasn't really that much of a hot mess.
Yeah.
Until things got rocky between them, and she just was. It started as, I'm gonna fight for my husband, and then she just got twisted.
Well, she was having an affair.
Oh, right. Damn, I always forget about the affair, because she's a hoe. She a thought.
And don't forget, she did want to stay married to him because she wanted the $5 million divorce settlement.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
Which is the only reason why she wanted to have a baby.
Ding, ding, ding.
Capital T.
So.
Wanna know what that one means?
What, capital T?
Tramp.
No, trife.
Oh, trife. Okay, I was going to say tramp.
Oh.
Okay.
Either or.
Either or. Either whore. Okay.
Whatever happened to that sex tape? Oh, no, she gave it out. Never mind. Okay.
She did, yeah, she gave it out. Sorry, y'all. If we start talking over each other, we're going to do better at taking turns, because we're tripping right now. But
well, and we have 22 episodes of content that we're being flashed back to throughout this entire episode.
But to concentrate on this one, the next scene, when Rogelio and Xiomara were saying goodbye to Jane, how do you guys feel about this text message and the dinner with Michael and Jane? And I mean, it was cute, but it was she was almost the banter was cute, you know? Oh, don't tease me, don't rub it in.
We know that they can't just be friends.
Now that's a good question.
We had that deep conversation last week, or
right, because of exes knows last week.
Where it's like you can't be friends with an ex. Are you friends with any of your exes?
No.
Yeah, you just can't do it.
Yes, you can.
Rachel,
maybe if it's
I know
like,
people that do though.
I can. If you're not having sex, you could be friends. Or can you? Dun, dun, dun.
I don't think that's the case, because I think that there are people who you can have sex with who you're not attracted to that you can be friends with. But I think it's like they were engaged, and I don't know. I just can't. I don't think they can be friends. I think we knew that from the very beginning. I think Jane actually thought that they could be friends at the same time, and as we see her talk about later, she appreciated the familiarity of it all.
Yes, and that's what she said, and that's what Michael was like, no. If it's familiar and it's the same, I'm not interested in that.
But I do really want a burger.
And some fries. We're hungry.
I know, and he's so sweet and is putting in his game by bringing her some of the leftovers.
In this episode.
He is sexy because he's considerate. Consideration will get you a lot of points.
He was considerate, but then he also took the initiative and was kind of manipulative in that scene, which we'll talk about later. Anyway.
This is like the manipulation scene. The whole episode is about manipulation.
Yeah.
Because he manipulates Nadine. Nadine is trying to manipulate him. Because
it's a telenovela.
It's a telenovela.
That's what goes down in shows like
this.
this.
That's what happens.
No, he's so cute, but it works out perfectly because he comes in and he takes the plates out, which I like that the narrator kind of points out. He's like, of course, Michael remembers where the plates are, and then they sit down and have food, and it's just like, it's a bummer for a position where she's about to be a mom, where all she wants is also stability and kind of comfort, and he's kind of providing that to her.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But then he, while they're having that dinner, she has like a false contraction. What they think is, damn, your guys' phones are tripping.
I know.
Mine's
that's
on
not
airplane.
Me. Mine's on airplane mode.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Done.
No, but they were also doing her graduate admissions thing, so he kind of like
they were discussing it.
re-inspires her to like. Write that admissions guy and tell him that you made a mistake or that you forgot that the deadline was 2 days ago or whatever.
Exactly, which is good though too, because it's one of those things where
he knows her.
They know it's like, in a relationship, you're supporting someone and you're there for someone, and he does that to her consistently.
Yes.
But he's also playing her vulnerabilities.
Yeah, he
And
is.
that's what this episode is about. You're exactly
God.
right. Good.
You
good
know
call.
those eyes. You fell in love with those eyes. Your character did.
How?
Andy and Michael.
Tell us about those eyes,
Those
Andy.
eyes, I mean, they're dreamy.
Right? And,
He's taken.
Rachel, aka Andy, was a sucker for Michael's eyes.
She was. She really, really was.
The baby blues.
But in my character analysis, I didn't quite get to the details of what kind of a sucker she was about his eyes or what his eyes looked like to her.
You didn't get that part.
I wasn't writing
My
paragraphs about
character
that for homework.
analysis.
I love it. I love it.
Got
Yeah.
nice lashes, though.
He does.
He is so sweet. I know.
Yeah, he's very sweet.
No, so then
We could probably have a whole show just talking about everyone's physical characteristics.
Attributes, I know.
Attractiveness.
Yeah.
every time they
everybody-
showed Justin Baldoni without his shirt, and I'm like, stop.
It.
Go, if you're not already, go follow Justin on Instagram. Or at least go check it out, because he was
yes.
posting the cutest things from the viewing party. And also his wife is gorgeous and pregnant
She's
and about to
gorgeous.
have their own baby. But they had a viewing party tonight, and a lot of the cast was together. And I wanted to use my phone to play audio, but clearly the static is too strong.
Yeah.
And there's this one Instagram that he has where everyone describes the finale in one word, why you should watch it. And it's
crazy.
good.
It's really good. It's
Do
nice
that in
to
the
see
comment
everyone
section.
on their own time. Like, we get to see Rachel on her own time.
Go, Rachel.
We're so special.
And we have some of you guys that get really into discussing our episodes, but at the very least, since it is the finale, if you haven't commented yet, maybe you can try to describe the finale in one word.
I like
At the
it.
very least.
Yeah, right, in one word. This is the telenovela.
I know! But I'm saying for those that don't typically participate,
Yeah.
give us at least one, if not a whole paragraph or an
What
essay.
would your one word be?
Get back to me at the end.
Okay.
During predictions, we can do that.
Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha.
So Jane has her false alarm where she thinks she has contractions, and Michael takes her to the hospital, and then they find out that everything's okay. But we see Raph there, and Raph steps outside, and I love this part
I
because
love this
Raph
part.
goes, "Okay, so Michael, Jane's okay. You can go now.
You could go."
like a bit aggressively.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm just gonna wait to say bye." He's like, "Oh, I'll let her know you said bye."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'll
could
just
go.
wait." And he's like, "Okay, no, homie, you best bounce right now because this is my woman." But I love to see Raph like that because he needs to be like that
He
for
needs
her.
to fight for her.
But how can you fight for something that's not yours?
Yes,
It's
because he lied to
his.
her. No, it's
That's
not.
his baby mama. I don't
No.
care what
It's
anybody
his
says.
baby mama.
You have
bet.
to fight for something.
that you want.
Like, fighting for something means that, I mean, it can be yours, but you can fight. You wouldn't be fighting for it if it was yours.
True, but he needs to fight for Jane, not like fight Michael
For Jane.
something. Yeah, he needs to show that like he at that point should have already stepped up to Jane like during the ultrasound and said, "I love you. I want this. I want the baby now." Not wait until you're in labor and wait and be
Till you get in an
immature with
argument.
her ex-boyfriend
Yes.
about it.
You have to fight
For your right.
Damn it! Come on, Giselle.
No, I'm on your lane.
No, thank you. I was gonna say something like that.
I didn't spoil it. I was on your same page.
No, but it's okay because I think what he was trying to say later is that he was waiting for the right time, and then clearly none of that was right because she's so sensitive right now. She's
And
in
she's
such a.
emotional. She
I
just
have
had a
plenty
baby.
of doors of opportunities.
I mean, really, he should have just said it because if you wait for the right time, it's one of those things where it's like
There is no right
I'm gonna
time.
wait the right time to have a baby, and then it's like if you do that, you're never gonna have a baby. So
I think he should not have lied in the first place. That's what I think.
How
He should
much
have-
of this did you know was going to happen?
I didn't know any of this was going to happen. They're very secretive.
That makes sense.
as they should be.
Yeah,
I
that
also
should
don't
be.
know what did happen.
True. Well,
most
you know what
part,
happened
it's
at the
very
end. There was just a little delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see Magda and Petra talking in prison, and Petra is just
And
such
Magda
a,
smells really bad.
Petra's
Really
just
bad.
like a weirdo, and I like that Magda says, when she's like, oh my God, Mom, like he really is, like he invited, oh yeah, because after Trivoli's, after that scene where he is checking her legs out and everything, he's like, why don't we go out to dinner? And Trivoli's is the place where they first had their first dinner, their first date. And then Magda's like, are you serious? You know, he's about to have a baby with another woman. Exactly. He'll be bonded with her forever, which is the reason why that plants a little seed in Petra's head later.
What did you guys think of when Raf's assistant came in, when Raf and Petra were in the room, and he goes, the cancer center's on the line. Can you take this call? What did you guys think that was about?
I got nervous about it because he had already went up to Raf and told him about that. So Raf had an opportunity to speak to the fertility clinic prior to Petra, but didn't because he was just busy and stuff. And then I just got nervous because like, oh God, watch this, what's gonna happen? He's gonna be re-diagnosed, or he's out of remission, or some bullcrap like that. But I didn't think it had anything to do with like what happened.
What did you think?
I thought it was confusing because if it was the cancer center, but it was the Miami-Dade Memorial Hospital. So that doesn't necessarily, I just didn't understand why he wouldn't take the call. But it goes to show you sometimes when you manipulate people or try to manipulate people, you get in trouble. Because had he answered the call or had the conversation with the person, he would have known.
Right.
See, I guess I missed the part where his assistant tried to bug him before Petra was in the room. So I thought that was something that he set up with his assistant as being like a way to manipulate Petra.
Right.
I thought that on the dinner date with Petra, he was going to be like, well, I have cancer again, and something as a way to get
her to
Had I not seen that first part,
Yeah.
I probably would have thought the same thing. But I think that's why I was just, I mean, I did think that it could have just been anything else, but I don't know. I mean, I would have rather it been a plan otherwise.
Is Raf's cancer going to come back?
I know.
Could
I
that be
didn't think
another
that.
twist?
Afterwards, so then we finally do get to see Raf. He comes back to see Jane, and then he confesses. He confesses that he loves her, and I was so happy to see Jane like tell me. She was like, "Stop, but keep going." You know?
You think she was like, stop, keep going?
Well, because she needs to hear it, but then she didn't want to. But it was like she had a sense of relief. At the end of the, you know, let's say she doesn't want to be with him. I think you would still feel better if you knew that they wanted you.
Yeah.
I agree. That's true.
But I also think she was mad because she's such a type A personality, and she was like, you broke my heart. So you can't really get over a broken heart. It's broken.
Well, because he's just switching stuff up. So she's just like, make up your damn mind.
Make up your mind. And she's such a decisive, definitive, stubborn, making list kind of personality. So for someone to kind of renege and say, oh, no, that's not really what I meant. I was just doing that to protect you. And that's the worst thing you could ever hear somebody possibly say. I'm going to think for you because you don't really know what you want, instead of saying and taking responsibility for what they actually want, which is, I'm in love with you and I'm scared. I don't know how this is going to end, and I don't want to keep disappointing you. So, like, that's what you should have said. Instead of making her the bad person and breaking her heart. That's the worst thing you could do to anybody.
He didn't win me over until the last scene when he was explaining the part about the meeting and how he canceled it because he thought that there might possibly be a chance of her going into labor. But even then, I understand where she's coming from, where if he would have said that the next day or a few days later after he broke up with her, I'd be like, okay, I'll have you back, have my babies. But she's already at that point, you know, and I think anyone can relate to this who's gone through a breakup. There's a point, whether it's a week later or sometimes it's a year later, where you decide, okay, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. And she got to that point.
Quick.
So
it's hard to switch back once you reach that.
Now, did we think it was quick, though?
No, she got to that point very quick, but it was more, not that she got to that point, but it was that she made herself get there.
Yeah.
My thing is that it was good to hear him explain, like, no, he was going through a really tough time, though. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have done it the way that he did, but I think that's the reason why she was slightly hurt, because she said she's understanding of the situation, but at the same time, that's why she said, let me think about it, because at the end of the day, I understand why you did that, but it happened, and that's just unfortunate, and it is what it is, and too little too late sometimes. So that's what sucks. Now, in comparison to the confessions to Jane, then we have Michael come the next day while she's trying to leave, and he instead just apologizes to her, but then
he makes her a playlist,
asks her, it makes her a playlist, which is so cool, makes her laugh.
Very sweet.
It just shows how much he knows her again, which they keep throwing it in our faces. We get it. But I think that I I was happy at the part where he goes, "Don't you feel something?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do. I do feel something," which is great. But then thank God she just says it. And I'm sure her
She's
subconscious
so
didn't even
honest.
know
Yeah.
that you're safe in this. And I always say comfort is stronger than love, which is you have to be careful, because what we said last week was that. Yeah, but what about if you're like, wouldn't you be better off falling in love with your friend? I'm like, no, because you could always break up with your friend with the comfort of knowing that they're going to be in your life still. Where with someone that you love, it's as dramatic as her and Raph. It's just something that you can't explain. So it was good that Michael heard that, because, like he said, I don't want to be competing against your fantasy. Your fantasy will always be greater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's been something that it's not like a fantasy about Raph developed over time. Raph has always been a fantasy to Jane.
Yes.
Even before she started dating Michael, when they met 5 years ago or whenever that was. And then once he did come back into her life, she could not stop thinking about him.
Exactly. And he didn't even do anything when it first started. That was the crazy thing. It was just like, it was a whatever connection that they happened to have. Yeah. And then it took for him just the idea of not seeing her in that light for things just to switch up for him. Just crazy.
Cray.
Hey, whenever you started seeing the episode, you jump on in, girl.
It's late in the game.
It's
It's coming.
We all
Whatever
started watching
describing.
at different times. Just if you guys are watching, we all watch at different times. You watched first because you recap another show in between. You got here early, in which case I walked in maybe 5 or 10 minutes late. She's already more than halfway through the episode.
No, I was like 5 minutes late. Like it was 5 minutes left until this episode.
So then I was just kind of sitting around, and then I started watching the episode, and then she got here.
It was like a domino effect.
It was.
But we made
had
it
to.
work.
So one of our voices will hopefully
Well,
Stitch something together.
keep you
yes.
in.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, whatever opinion, even if it's just a matter of opinion, go ahead and talk. But not right now, it's okay.
Everyone just like Rachel.
But I'm just I feel like I'm listening so much because you guys are all offering up such varied opinions and you have your own takes on things. So the commentary that I have and like the processing that's going on is
A roller coaster.
it's a bit of a roller coaster. It's taking some time to let these things sink
I sound
in.
more correct, though, right?
But I sound like I have more wisdom, right?
I think you guys are all
Virgin
striking
wisdom.
some very poignant chords with your thoughts about the show.
We're one of those roller coasters that has like 2 starting on different directions.
You know
and then
what?
I go like this.
We're women, and we feel a lot all the time. And I already had my Snickers today, so I'm not being dramatic.
Your Snickers? Oh, like
you know,
a commercial? Yeah.
I'm also not funny, but I tried.
That was a good try. So
I know.
We like it.
But anyway, so then Michael gets back from that whole thing, and who do we see? Nadine in the apartment.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so you mentioned something earlier when we were like at the beginning of this recap about how everyone's being manipulative. I didn't see any of that until I guess she tried to escape. So why don't you guys discuss like her being there and what you think of her? Because now you just opened up a can of worms in my head about Nadine.
Well, first of all, I called that she was gonna come back. She was for sure coming back. And she knows, apparently, Seen Rostro's kind of whereabouts. Well, Seen Rostro came and kidnapped her again, right?
Well,
And she was taken. She never saw her
she had
face.
to escape.
Did he kidnap her? Because I thought she was actually working.
No. She confessed to. No, she got caught up with Michael.
No, she didn't confess. He saw her
that's what I'm
name
saying.
on the list.
Right, and then he told her, and he said,
Yeah.
"I haven't." He pretty much gave her 2 hours to get the F out
Yes.
of the city.
Right.
And that was it.
But as far as her reappearing right now, she just showed up. He didn't like reach out to her.
Yes.
Right. No,
She
but he
just
had sent
showed
her an
up.
email. She had sent him an email.
Oh, she did?
Yes, he said it was a
Okay.
very impressive, thoughtful email, but what are you doing here? That's what he said.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
So she came to make that proposal.
She's in his lair. I don't know if it was his, I think it was his house. Because it didn't look like
Did
his
you
office.
say his lair?
Yeah.
Ah!
Well, I didn't know how to describe it because I didn't know if it was like his house
No,
or
it
if
was
it
his
was
house.
like
It
a
was his
private
living room.
area
No, it was
or if
his
it was
living
like
room.
his office, if it was
He
like a
said-
place where they hid out or something.
Giselle, did you say his private area? That sounds like something else.
Private area.
His Michael time area.
Voice of the Virgin over here.
I know. I think about it all the time. Okay.
She does. She's still human, you guys. She's just like
mean-
everyone else.
Just so everyone
Anyway.
knows, once Madison has sex, we're gonna have a recap on that also.
Totally.
Madison, the ex-virgin. So anyway, she shows up and she wants a deal. She wants her family to be protected,
Yes.
and she wants the her punishment to be lenient if she's willing to offer information. Now, apparently at one point she was taken back with Sin Rostro. She didn't get a chance to see her face, but said that she found out where the plastic surgeon is hiding, the one who did plastic surgery on everyone in the ring.
Right.
It's called the ring.
Involved in that, yes.
And that he also did Rose's face. Therefore, if they can find the surgeon, then they can figure out what she looks like, and then they're able to find her. What?
You just thought about something?
I did.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. What's your thought? Say it before you forget it.
Oh my God, what if Rose is Juicy J after plastic surgery?
Is what?
Juicy J.
Who's Juicy Jade?
Freaking Luisa's new lover.
Oh!
No, she's not.
No, she's not.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
That's
she's
an
not.
interesting perspective. I was like, ooh, that would be sinister. Because she is a lesbian and
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't
But
think
regardless,
so.
but possibly Rose has a different face at this point.
Yeah.
But I do. Okay, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I don't know. I'm gonna throw this out there. Okay, as far as the baby, which we'll get to at the end, is it Luisa who's in on it, or is it Rose who just happens to know? Like, who's on the inside who told Rose that the baby was coming? Anyway, we'll get to that later. So, so Michael decides to go looking for the plastic surgeon. Turns out the plastic surgeon is where Nadine says that he is, but he's dead.
He's dead.
Dead end. So Michael then tells Nadine, well, you can't really do anything with that. I can't negotiate a plea deal for you. And he just happens to leave his keys behind in the lair because Jane's going into labor. Nadine takes the keys and she escapes.
And I was trying to
dun.
figure out, I'm like, he's got her handcuffed to like a file cabinet. Like,
Well, it's not like she could drag that shit with her, you know, like, don't worry, everything's all
skinny
right,
hands.
neighbors.
yeah, maybe.
Well, for the sake of the show, she was nice and posted up.
And she had a cell phone the whole time.
She can't call nobody. Oh,
Yeah,
I guess
she
she
Yeah,
could.
she could. That's how it happened. You're exactly right.
So
Because she
like,
got
why-
away, and he said, I have to go change the plans. I have to go escort.
Then I
Oh,
don't
yeah, we'll
think
get to
that.
that.
I think that Nadine is just still trying to save her family. So if she has to keep giving Sin Rostro information, she's just gonna keep giving Sin Rostro information.
Yeah, of course. I think that's how it
my
happened.
But what
God.
information does she even have to give at this point?
She gave the information that Jane is on the way to the hospital to deliver the baby.
No, well,
'Cause
we're not
Oh,
saying
yes, that's what I was
maybe.
trying to say.
Yeah.
So is it Luisa or is it Nadine that
I
told
think it's
Sin
Nadine.
Rostro?
Oh God.
I think it's Nadine.
Well,
Nadine.
because Jane is in labor, Raph has to give a rain check to Petra.
And she
who
looks
so good.
freaking
And
hot.
so heartbroken.
Oh my gosh. I like the background too with the red. I'm like, that's a great
Can
room.
I say that's the first thing I noticed?
Yeah, I
too?
was like, the room, like, this is a
That was
perfect.
very
nice
choreographed.
contrast. Yeah.
Yes. And then her rose gold bag, I was like, that is nice.
Yeah. So she's going into labor. Oh wait, but you know what? Can I just say I love it when humanity like just comes together, like on the bus, like when people help
Oh,
other
I
people.
love that scene.
And I would
not
be
there
that
yet.
person. I'd be like, okay, I'm ready. Like I would have tried to make her breathe and
Me
everything,
too,
especially
yeah.
strangers. Like I love when strangers are nice to each other. I love
I do
people.
too. But that rarely
Points for
happens in
humanity.
LA.
Yeah.
I don't see it very often.
I tried to. You just gotta leave.
I
by
mean, I
influence.
do it,
Yeah.
but I don't see it 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
me
from
too.
Texas, but I don't know.
I feel like people in LA would be like, get off the bus, go take an Uber.
Right.
I need to
Uber
go-
your
I need to go to
baby.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to be
I'm
late
gonna
for
be
my
really,
next bus.
I'm gonna be really racist, but I feel like white people in LA are really mean. And I've lived in different places, but they're the meanest people here.
I don't think it's just white people. I just think it's just people. Yeah, like this city.
They're really mean to me.
No, I don't know why. But
Wow.
I've seen some really mean things in this city. Really mean things, and it's been
That's just
across
because
the board.
Los Angeles has a bit of a wickedness, but that's because people are a little bit
is.
selfish. They're trying to do
Narcissistic.
something.
And
They take lots of
insecure.
selfies. Yeah, all of the
Come
above.
visit the wonderful city of Los
Angeles, the city of angels. Not really. Okay.
This is a tourist
okay, we're nice
commercial.
people.
I know.
We're
I
nice.
And we're clearly,
Come to the ironic city.
we're,
The city of devils. Okay, we're off
Thank
the
you for the
subject.
let's talk about Zoe and Rogelio.
Wait, did we miss something?
Well, I was just she goes into labor and then has to go
she's
to
on the
rain check.
bus. That
no,
was
but
one-
this is the part where Petra gets her phone call. She gets the phone call, but we don't hear what the phone call is, and she tries to go tell Raph, but then she hears Raph say, at this point, I just want Petra out of my life. I feel bad for
Yes.
manipulating her, but she just needs to leave. She's like,
Yeah.
No, not yet. That's not yet.
I was gonna say that's not yet, right?
Because Jane goes into labor. She's
On the
at the
bus.
hospital. Turns out the baby's not coming right away. She takes an epidural. She's all smiles.
Yes.
Zoe, meanwhile, is stuck in Las Vegas. She can't get a plane until the morning. Tells Rogelio. He gets pissed. Not because she can't do the show, but because...
Yeah, which I knew right away.
Yeah, I
that's
knew
why he got
exactly
mad.
why that's weird.
Can I just say that, you know what was so wonderful also is that when she was panicking and she kept seeing Rogelio's face on the bus,
That
he
was so cute.
In her,
Which he's always done. I love it. It's gone through the whole season.
Yeah, but it was even more so because then she saw her dad and he was just like, my baby, like, don't worry, you'll be okay. And I'm like,
Yes.
damn,
Go bring another angel into
love
the
her
world.
dad.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was so cute.
awesome. And then when she gets off the bus and then he was like, do it now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I love it.
And then we see Rogelio be sad, so that's good. And I like that he goes, I already got my plane ticket. And I was like,
And premium class.
First class.
Premium class.
Excuse me, before you got here, this machine was raining quarters.
That was my favorite line.
I know what's going on now. I'm really excited.
Rachel's like, I could jump in.
It's time.
Here she comes.
Jump in.
Rachel DiPillo, everyone.
Special guest, Rachel DiPillo.
So what did you think about the bus scene? That was like my favorite scene.
No, I didn't see the bus. I saw
Okay, sorry.
The raining
The raining quarters. Okay, you
premium
saw,
first class.
you saw that. Okay, yes, I love
Yeah.
that scene. Okay.
The Rogelio, what are they called? What are the Rogelio
His
fans
fans,
called?
they're like, estoy en miles de países. So when he's like, I'm in hundreds of like countries. Like, so which one?
Venezuela.
Which is
Yeah.
good. That's a little homage to the actual show because Juana la Virgen originated in Venezuela, and now I love that they chose that country to be it.
But what are they called? Are they called
Oh, his
Rogelio
fans.
fans? Rogelio
Rogelio.
fans? Or what are
Rogelio
they?
fans.
Rogelio
Rogelio
fans.
fans.
Hashtag Rogelio.
Rohelians?
Rohelians, that's it.
Rohelians.
But good job, Rachel. That's exactly what it was. Rohelians. You're exactly right.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
like,
you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because it was hashtag blessed.
Hashtag, yeah.
But also I thought hashtag whatever that was in blessed came from his wake up call? Or was that when
it's
the
a beautiful day to be
Venezuelan came?
I think you're right.
I'm about to make my own voicemail like that.
That's so
Steffi
cute.
G, wake up, girl, it's your day. Steffi G, wake up, girl, it's your day.
I want to know how you do that. I want to set a personal one.
Just
You can
record
on
it.
iTunes.
I can do it on my
GarageBand.
HTC Droid.
Really? You're so excited about your phone.
My phone's whack. But
Back to the wake-up call.
Wake up call. They missed their plane and they finally make it. And what happened?
ooh, but then we start talking. No, we have the scene where Ralph and Juana, Jane,
Juan la Virgen.
where they discuss the name and they decide on Nina. So you were right last week about how they kept thinking that it was going to be a girl, and then they try to discuss whether or not they want to
I
do
was right about a lot of things this
Villanueva
week.
or Solano
bigs.
first.
Oh.
And then he's just cute. This is why I love Ralph, because he's trying to tell her, like, look, I will compromise, even though this is my only child. But really, he was like, it doesn't matter. It's a girl coming out. But he sticks to it later.
Why wouldn't it matter if it was a girl coming out?
Because the legacy can't continue.
Anyways, because
The name
Gotcha.
won't continue.
right, because if she gets married, she'll take her husband's last
Hey, the
name.
lady could
As
choose.
presumably,
true.
presumably, but yeah.
But okay,
It's a pretty traditional family.
Now, how did that come up with the name Nina? Like,
That was random, but that's my cousin's name.
I'm
Shout
like-
out to my cousin Nina.
I like Nina. Like, that's a great name, Nina Simone. But I'm like, where did they get that name? Nina.
Simone. Was that the
Nina
middle name?
No. I'm just saying Nina Simone is like a famous singer.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, I was like, where did that name come from?
Maybe it was just a cop out because it's like Nina. It's just Nina, like girl.
Yeah. I was like,
Well, my cousin's full name is Yanina. Yeah, with a...
Well, this one was gonna be Nina.
I know, but I'm just saying, but that's where the name derived from.
you're like, what is that? You're like, what?
I think she was inspired because she was like lying down, smiling, and then you saw her smile. And she goes, "I got
I'm
it."
The epidural.
Epidural is
Yeah.
good. Right.
Very much at peace.
So what happened after?
So Raphael, though, does confess to Jane everything about his feelings,
Finally.
This is the part of the Spain and everything else.
saying that he wants to have a family, and she says she'll think about it.
Right, but she
And he
also was like,
also
no,
said-
I feel good right now, stop.
that he sold the company and that he doesn't want to be like his dad, because when his mom left him, he started to idolize his dad, and he was like, my dad was not worth a 2 quarters, so...
Everything he said was perfect.
It was perfect.
Just 100% understandable. I'd be like, okay, let's
But I
be
feel like
together.
she's got like tougher skin now.
She does, but
Yeah.
again, this all she has her guard up now. That's all
Yeah,
it is. It's her
it's all
guard up
about
and
the
her
baby.
protecting her heart, which is fine,
And the baby.
and the baby. But she's also, it's just like it's bad timing, and whatever. That's what happens with love. You go cray cray.
But all of his walls are down now.
Yeah.
Too late.
It is too late.
It's not. You just fight. You can't.
For
Whatever.
now,
it happens when it happens.
And she said she would think about it. You never know. But all of his walls are down. All of his dark and twisty issues have been untwisted, and now he's light. His phone did not ring once that we saw, or at least didn't answer his phone once.
That's true.
Right.
God,
and then
how
just
horrible would it be if it did?
You're like,
And then Petra.
come on, Petra.
Okay.
no.
We belong.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And then just to throw this out there, Michael raids the warehouse and they find the surgeon dead. So that kind of ends there. So now they're just going to have to do a re-investigation and wait on the tracker for Nadine to be able to
And her cell phone.
investigate further.
Which we find out that Nadine did not escape. It was
He
actually
let
part
her.
of Michael's plan.
'Cause he
baited her
manipulated,
to
yeah.
escape.
yeah, so
manipulated
we
her.
have to figure out what the tracker says she is, and then we'll know more for that.
So proud of my little Michael.
I
Yeah.
know. He's a great manipulator. He's
Now,
becoming a manipulator.
When Jane is giving birth, and it's so sad because she's so tired, and then her mom
I
comes
know.
out.
It's so cute.
And then we see the flashback in full circle where Xiomara comes in and she's like, "You better just push, or else I'm gonna go in and get that
Yank
baby
that
myself."
baby out.
And she just starts like crying, and then finally, Mateo Gloriano Rogelio Solano Villanueva was born.
Dun, 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 dun.
Can we just say it one more time?
Mateo Gloriano Rogelio Solano Villanueva was born.
No,
I can't say that.
Mateo was born.
Mateo, right?
my
Room for
God.
nicknames.
Yeah, that was cute. I like that
cute.
part.
What did you guys think of the boy? I was so happy it was a boy. I was so happy. And Petra was pissed because she knows to have a boy in the family, it's like in the royal family having, like when Prince Harry popped out, they're like, thank God, because they needed a man.
Yes.
I don't understand why.
Because it
It's the
continues
legacy,
the
it's the
family
man,
name.
it's like the heir.
It's the heir to
Traditional.
whatever.
It's traditional. I was like, girl, it's extra traditional. I don't know what else to say.
I kind of want to hang on to my last name no matter what happens. We'll see.
I know, me too. I kind of want to be like the Kardashians, where Khloe was just like Khloe Kardashian. They made it their middle name. I don't have a middle name, so I can do it.
But legally, she's that. Professionally, she's not. And professionally, I mean, if you're part of SAG, it's really hard to change your name, too. So you kind of have to hold on to that
Yeah,
unless you want to
that's
go through
true.
the process of it. But legally, they took the name. It's just that it's not even that you can't have that. It's that the likelihood goes down. Because even if a girl has her mom's name and then has a baby, for her, the likelihood of her still keeping the name after having a baby is just,
With a boy, it's a sure thing.
Yes.
well, not necessarily. She could have it without, but just the likelihood that she wouldn't, it's just not as likely.
Well, it's just one of those things where because it's tradition, and a lot of women don't mind taking their husband's, last name. It's nice
Or
for
look
the
forward
men.
to it.
Or exactly, because I look forward to it. Except for now, I'm like, oh man, my last name's so much cooler than everyone else's. So that sucks.
I like it.
I'll go to Italy and find an Italian with the last name Giorgi. We'll see.
Or you'll find a better name that sounds just as exotic. You never know. if it's really meant to be.
For those of you who were not watching, I looked at the camera and nodded my head. SMH.
If it's really meant to be.
Maybe.
Who
Well,
knows?
okay, so now Michael says the right thing. Oh, yeah. Then Michael comes in and he says the right thing
Who had
again.
saved the day, by the way.
He saved the day.
How did he save the day?
He gave Xiomara and Rogelio a police
Police
escort from the
escort.
airport so that they could dodge traffic.
Yeah. Which is
Which was
great.
time.
And it
But
was
whatever.
Raph's idea.
Which is a great idea.
Also points for Raph.
Yeah, he got points. I feel like they're trying to one up each other.
They are. Raph, I love you, Papi.
Yeah, is it really about Jane at this point?
Right. It's like who could be the better?
Because I feel like at this point it is about Jane. Like I feel like at this point they're one-upping each other by coincidence because they're actually putting Jane first.
They are, and that's
and the
true.
baby first. Whereas
Okay.
So now
I feel
she's
like
in a good position because of that.
if it was a
If she knows
competition,
it.
we would see it from the showrunners as we've seen in the past, where it's like ding points, ding points. But like.
Yeah, that's why.
yeah.
That's why you see. But then I was worried because when the narrator says at this point her heart was just so full, and is it because they both have her best interest, or is it because she's already made an internal decision about Michael?
I think it's because she's realized that nothing else matters.
Yeah, because
Besides the baby.
And that she could do it by herself, and that everything that she's gone through at this point is so that she could be at the point where she is right now.
Yeah, because she's definitely stronger. And then at the end, you see her heart and then the baby's heart together.
Glowing.
Yeah, it's like a glow. So I
It's
think that's
beautiful
what they meant.
connection. I'm so surprised though that she did lose her virginity to her child.
I know. I was like, you need a C-section.
Did she technically though?
This is
Yes.
where I am with this.
Because there was no penetration.
But
No,
it's
but I
still
meant,
like her hoo-ha is a different size.
I mean,
now.
obviously not her
But it doesn't
virginity. No, not her
matter.
virginity. But like
She did.
she's gonna have to do a whole lot of Kegels to get that nice
and a whole
first
lot of
feeling.
stitching
I don't
up
think
and that.
so. She's still.
What do you mean you don't think so?
Have you
She's
ever
still
had a
better
baby?
But it
time.
doesn't matter. She's 20, whatever.
No,
your
I'm
body
not
bounces
saying-
back a lot quicker than like a 40-year-old would a baby.
No.
She's 23.
I thought she was 24.
She's 24 maybe.
Whatever, 22, 24. She's.
But still, you have a baby and the baby's head is ginormous.
But your cervix dilates. Your body's meant to handle that.
Okay, we're going to do some research on that. 'Cause
Well, no,
I
I'm
think
not saying it doesn't go
Yeah.
back to normal, but that doesn't change the fact that
You've had a baby come out of
it's
your
it's okay if it's like still
hoo-ha
tight and everything. That's not the
versus
point.
a
I'm in
penis.
camp Giselle. I understand something has been through the canal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she didn't have sex first, so it's still a bummer. Like she had the baby before she had
Because
sex.
if that's the case, then like you lost your virginity to a tampon.
No, that's
No.
different.
No, well, I don't know. I remember I was thinking that too. I was like,
I
shit.
used to think that too. I definitely thought that.
But
Are we getting too TMI for you guys at home?
I know,
Yeah.
we're sorry.
Deal with it.
okay, but my point is
Love you.
just
Are boys watching this anyway?
Yeah,
Probably.
actually.
Oh, yeah, we do have some guys that watch. But no, I totally agree
young
with
men.
you. They try to
That's
get
why I have to go to
educated.
YouTube to be able to relate to people who watch the show.
Yes.
Because their friends really don't want to watch it with them.
that's what the after show is for. AfterBuzz got you. Don't worry.
You're not alone.
But I agree with you, Steffi G. I think
Yeah, well, I
that
mean, it's
she-
just a bummer. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's,
Yeah.
just, it's like, wow, it kind of sucks, but whatever. But she's still happy. She's still a good person, so it's okay.
when the sorry, spit out of my mouth. When Mateo touched her mouth with the little baby
I
hand.
know his
That was really
hand.
sweet.
I wanted
They
to
couldn't
buy
have
it.
planned that. I was like, that baby is pure perfection.
Little babies.
So cute.
All that hair.
I know it looked like two different babies.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
They usually do that.
Yeah.
SAG rules.
Okay,
Oh, that
so
makes
Michael comes in to say he just wants to see Mateo. Matt. I'm already
Because
making
he
it.
broke like 20 traffic
Mateo.
laws.
I like
to
Mateo.
get to him. Mateo
Mateo. He
is
comes in to
cute.
see Mateo, and he's like, "Well, no, I just want you to say, just focus on the baby." And Jane's like, "Oh, thanks."
That's all she needed to
And we
hear.
have our friend Anthony, the voiceover, say that he couldn't have said anything more perfect.
Exactly. So it's just a bummer. But you know what? Whatever. That's true. It was the perfect thing to say, but hopefully it just puts her at ease, not really takes her heart anywhere. But then we go to Petra, and we find out what the phone call is. And the phone call is that the clinic had been a hot mess, and the woman called and said, "Mrs. Solano." Ooh, I wanted to yell through the screen and be like, "She's not Mrs. Solano. Relax."
She is not. She's
but
a
yeah.
thought.
Legally.
Because they're not
She's been-
divorced yet?
Well, no, she legally changed her name when they got married. Therefore, her name, unless she
It's
changes it
still-
back, is still that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
Even when people get divorced, sometimes
She
they
did
keep their
change her
married
name. I didn't know
names.
that. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. I know plenty of people
Yeah.
like that. So, yeah, that's a bummer. But the sperm sample split, and so she goes to the clinic, retrieves
get-
it.
In other words, there are two samples.
And
One of them is
she-
Jane's.
But
You guys,
one of them, or oh boy, or brother, or sister.
Or sister.
I didn't
think
call
it's-
this last week, but as it was happening, I wasn't surprised, and I'm not that like freaking out about it.
What's that?
Like I would have been. I mean, okay. Here's the thing: people were trying to hint without spoiling what was happening on this episode before it actually started on Twitter,
You probably
and
got
they
a
were
lot of
saying
hints.
it's heart-wrenching, it's heartbreaking. Just wait, you're gonna freak out. All this stuff, and everything that ended up happening, I was like,
Well, that's just
oh.
because you expected it. That's
I
that's
don't
how it
know-
was for me with Breaking Bad. I thought that was like a shitty show, and everyone was like, "It was the most amazing show in the world."
It was.
It wasn't good for me. But I feel you on that. It's when people hype stuff up for you, it kind of ruins it because you need to have your own like thought process.
Like I would have been more shocked if it would have been something like his cancer is back, or I thought for a hot minute, what if Jane and Raph are brother and sister,
Oh, that's
or
disgusting.
like somehow related,
How
or
could that even be possible?
or that the
It's possible.
sperm
It's a
actually
telenovela.
was not even Raph's at all, and it was someone else's. That's what I thought it was going to be.
For a second, I thought it was going to be that.
I did too.
The sperm.
Yeah.
We find out that we actually still have another one because it was a mistake. Yeah, I thought that was going to be someone else's sperm.
Because
also.
I was hoping that like at the end of
Michael
the
had
episode, we'd
donated.
be like, oh no, like where is this gonna go? And in my head, I'm like, oh, there's just another thing of sperm and Petra has it. Like whatever, it's fine, it's casual, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so too. I think
It
that's
takes
not
a
the
lot
worst.
to keep.
Yeah, I was
take.
gonna say that just because even if she artificially inseminates, it doesn't mean that it's actually gonna take, and doesn't mean that she's actually gonna have the baby.
Right. Okay.
And if she does have a baby, I think it's gonna be a girl.
Sorry, we need to wrap this up because we have to move on with the show.
Okay. Yes.
But so then Petra hears.
She was brutal. Just
kidding. No, I'm just saying because we have more to talk about.
Yes.
So then Petra, she takes the sperm. That sucks. And then one funny thing that we see is that Xiomara and Rogelio get married.
I know, that's so cute.
Awesome.
I called the proposal, did not see the wedding, but I'm so happy about
I'm
it.
glad they
I'm
got
stoked
married.
about the wedding also.
Yeah,
and then
cute.
for me, the big whammy
At
was,
the end, that
oh
I
my
didn't
God,
see it. I saw it.
Like Rachel yelled.
I was screaming at the
She screamed. She
television.
was like, "How do you effing steal a baby like that?"
You know how many times that actually happens?
No, I know.
But the crazy thing is, Jane kind of had like a moment where she was like, "No, wait,
Like, for
no,
what?
Like,
Yeah.
where are you taking my no?"
And that's funny. I thought what Giselle thought. For a second, I was like, "Oh God, the baby's gonna be dead."
That's what I thought.
I totally thought she's about to steal his baby.
Yeah.
But see,
She
with
did
that,
exactly
I'm like,
that.
okay, fine, they're gonna find the baby. Who cares? Like Nadine has a tracker on her ankle.
What if it's one of those things where they don't find the baby for a minute though?
They probably won't, but they'll find it eventually.
But
Yeah,
still.
but then
the
baby's not gonna
baby
have that relationship
when
with
they
the
don't have
parents.
to have babies on set anymore.
They'll
Oh shoot, you right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh my God, but that's missing out. That's so sad.
It
That
will.
is
Yeah.
so
But there are
sad.
plenty of babies all over the world that get adopted at all kinds of ages.
No,
and
the
they
baby
still
that they
create a
had, they miss
relationship
out on
with
the
their
entire
parents.
relationship.
They'll still have the relationship. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, but as a mother, I'd be pissed if I missed out on my
course.
newborn's
Of
life.
Of course. I mean, of course, like she's gonna be heartbroken.
And I think
but
this is-
But I'm glad that the baby, at least to our knowledge, is healthy.
Yes.
She had the baby. It's hers. It's hers and Raph's, which means there's still hope for them to be a family.
I
So
agree.
I'm pretty optimistic about this ending. I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't be, and that I'd be freaking out and screaming and super pissed and not knowing where the show's gonna go. But now I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be whatever.
You were
Well, for
hoping
the
that the
sake-
show was gonna make you angry?
Yeah,
Kind of.
because the drama. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
for the sake of drama, I'm gonna
For the sake
still
of
be
drama and for the sake of
convinced.
just being on the edge of my seat and like having that cliffhanger of what? And instead I'm like, oh.
This is a cool.
But
Fine.
that's how we end the show with Mateo Gloriano, Rogelio Solano Villanueva, just driving away and
One more
I
time.
like how they did
Steph.
the arrows. Yeah, one more time.
Oh yeah, say it one more time. Steph.
Mateo. I have to keep looking at it too. Mateo Gloriano, Rogelio Solano Villanueva.
beautiful.
You pointed out something that I wouldn't have noticed if you not said it, but when Jane's talking about her heart being full and you can see her heart and the baby's heart lighting up.
I know.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't have
I
noticed
missed
if I
that. Where
didn't
were
watch
the
it.
hearts? Sorry.
It was in the
Where the
hospital
heart is
bed
on the
when she
body?
was holding the baby.
The baby.
It was like
It's
it
like a little
wasn't
glow.
like a little
No, it was a little
glow.
glow.
Yeah,
like a glowworm.
yeah,
Like
like
a
a glowworm. Exactly.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, but I didn't.
like a
I would have
little
noticed it
glower.
the first time. I noticed it the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, but until
What do you guys think's gonna
Shoot.
happen?
now, chapter 23 of season 2. Holy cow!
Whole smoking
I have a
nose.
question.
Please.
We have
Does
an
this
answer.
show mimic the original show in plot?
I
don't
want to say it
think
does.
so.
I've never seen the original because I know Betty La Fea didn't like. It did kind of where
Ugly Betty.
Ugly Betty did.
Thank you.
Where she kind of
I didn't
is in
know
love with her
them like
boss,
that.
but it was more of just the characters is what it mimicked.
Supposedly, Jenny Yerman or someone told the cast not to watch that because it was so different.
Right.
So it's very.
But I'm
loosely
sure
based.
it just it's based on
Characters
the insemination
and-
part
and the idea.
and then everything else is just done by
Yeah.
us, like in the U.S.
Right.
So how long do we have to wait for chapter 23?
For chapter
fall.
23, I didn't see at the end of it, but I want to say it's till fall. So it's
September,
like
October.
you were saying, the it's just a full season.
pilot season.
Right. Holy cow.
All right.
All right, so one last time, goodbye, Mateo, Gloriano, Rogelio, Solano.
Oh, no, don't say
Adios.
that.
Until we meet again.
No, don't say that. We'll see him later.
Hopefully it'll be before he
Hasta
turns
luego.
23.
No, don't say that.
Here we go. Oops.
But ending on a positive note,
Let's end on a positive note.
We have a special guest here.
Yeah, Rachel DiPillo.
Rachel DiPillo.
So, in addition
Rachel
to
D.
her character on Jane the Virgin, she plays Andy, who was a very weirdo ex-girlfriend. And
Stalker.
quite lovely, a really good friend, but
Stalker.
went overboard.
I have to say, looking back, it took me a while to really understand Andy. I came back and I saw our time together, and I was like, they absolutely have it. I was like trying to stand up for Andy. She was confused. What was I talking about? This girl is crazy.
He's crazy.
But you know what? Even without your full understanding, you still portrayed that on screen. So that's really what matters.
I think I needed to be in that place for her to live, and then have to get out of that place.
How did you think that the show
Gotcha.
ended? What do you think of Jane the Virgin? Are you stoked about it?
It's so much fun. I didn't keep up with the last couple of episodes, so I'm still catching up a little bit. But I'm so glad it's on TV. I think everyone does such a good job.
It's good. Awesome. Now to talk
I love
about...
screaming at the television.
I know, right? When you did, I was like, well, I'm going to watch a movie with her.
They really-
I was like, I'm going to start watching stuff with you.
I love it.
we both had chills at the end where we were just
yeah.
What?
I can't move.
And Steph came in crying. I was like, no.
Oh, when it first happened.
When it first
Right.
happened, yeah.
I was sniffling.
Yeah.
But so you have a future project coming up, and you are involved in a film
I do.
called "Hello, My Name Is Frank." That is
Yes.
coming out on June 6th
Oh.
at the TCL. Also, at Crazy Sexy Cool TLC. No, at the TCL. Tell us a little about that.
Okay, so Hello, My Name is Frank is an independent film. It's a story about a man with Tourette's syndrome,
Oh, wow.
sort of coming out of his shell. So at the beginning of the story, his caretaker, who is my character's mother, dies. And it's right as my character is graduating high school, about to go on a road trip. All this stuff is planned, and life takes a different direction. So Frank, who is the Tourette's syndrome boy.
Who plays Frank?
The Tourette syndrome man. That's a bad way to say that. The man with
man
Tourette
with-
syndrome
The man with Tourette's.
has to go on the road trip and sort of come out of his shell in a number of ways. And everyone sort of grows together. And it's sort of like a Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay, cool. Like a
He's
coming of age
Wizard
almost,
of Oz.
right.
Yeah, a coming of age, but very much centered around the struggles of this mental illness.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
crazy. I like the fact that that he comes out of his shell by doing like this activity, because I have people that are pretty close to me that have like a similar kind of like Tourette's, and the only time they don't have it is when they're like working or actually doing something. Like when
Yeah.
you're alone is when it's bad. When you're not doing anything, it's
Yes.
just
your
Yes,
head.
and that's
horrible.
how Frank lived his entire life. He had like a trust fund or something, and has just been sheltered and afraid and angry at the world. And now circumstantially, life has brought him out. He doesn't have a choice.
Right.
And yeah, it's a
That's
cool
awesome.
journey
How did you
that he
feel
goes on.
in comparison with characters? I mean, this is something, now you're not this like vulnerable girl, you're just like this other girl, and I'm assuming you're a helper, you're involved.
You mean in juxtaposition to Andy?
Yes.
What do you mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it must have been refreshing because you did that, and now this is something 100% different.
Oh yeah.
As an actress.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How long
That's
ago did
always
you
fun.
film this one?
This one we filmed
I feel like it was
fall of
probably before Andy.
2013.
Yeah.
Way before Andy. Yeah.
So Andy was probably a walk in the park.
Andy, no, Andy was confusing. She was very confusing. My character in Hello, My Name is Frank is Laura, and she was a little more of a walk in the park. She's a really good-hearted girl who's dealing with her mom's death and with the next chapter of her life and leaving home and figuring out who she is and what she wants to do. She's very much used to taking care of other people and doesn't yet know how to take care of herself, which is something we see a lot in moms and people that take care of people that are a little bit older but not in high school graduates.
Excellent.
I like her a lot.
That's awesome. So on June 6th, when it comes out, is it to the public or just like a premiere
It
for you
is
guys?
the LA premiere.
The LA premiere,
So
okay.
the TCL is at Hollywood and Highland. It's the Chinese theater.
Okay.
It's at 2:45 with the dances. So it's all right. This is how I'm remembering it. TCL, not TLC, and Dances with Films, not Dances with Wolves Film Festival.
Okay.
Is what it's going to be at.
Okay.
Awesome. And are you doing anything? Are you still doing TV stuff right
Yeah.
now? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything? You don't know if you're allowed to say if you're doing anything with Jane the Virgin, are you?
No.
Okay.
But I just did a pilot called Cuckoo. That was a BBC adaptation.
Oh, wow.
For Lionsgate and NBC. And NBC, unfortunately, just passed on it. But it's maybe not quite dead yet.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
The world of online television, I feel like, is giving a lot of
It sure
opportunity.
is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's
Netflix.
what would be picking it up, but
Yeah.
it's definitely giving hope to, I feel like, a lot of pilots
Great shows, yeah.
and shows. And you have a commercial out right now, too.
Yeah, I did a Nike campaign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't sneeze.
Yeah.
Don't sneeze.
Yeah, because you could miss you.
Because you could. Oh, well, there's
Because there's
that
so many
one.
girls in it.
There's that one, and then there's a
Not
better
bad.
one.
That sounded bad.
No,
I
in a
did
bad way.
that, but 100% sure I'm in like half a second of one. I don't know how many they're gonna make. We shot for like 5 days. The second one, I got to run with Allison Felix, who's
She
a
is,
Olympic runner.
Olympic
super
gold
fast.
medalist.
Yeah, super fast.
That one's really fun, but I don't think
Did
that
you
one's
beat her?
playing as much. Absolutely
You're
not.
not?
But the narration for the commercial is like, I was ahead of her for like a second.
I love it.
Well, that's great. So, all of you, if you want to catch this wonderful lady right here, Rachel, her film again is coming out June 6th. TCL, that's the LA premiere, but just keep your eye on it. It's called Hello, My Name is Frank. And Rachel, where can they find you on social media?
On social media, at Rachel DiPillo on Twitter and Instagram.
Is there a trailer online for that?
For Hello, My Name is
Yeah.
Frank? Oh, yeah.
Where can we find it?
YouTube, Facebook. They have
Excellent.
a
That sounds
fan
good.
page.
I feel like I love movies like that where you're just gonna get into it like a motivating movie, right?
Yeah.
At the end, yeah, let's just do stuff and
grow up.
and help people. Humanity, man. Humanity.
I love it. You're like a hippie.
bro.
I love it.
She's the caretaker.
I love it.
Thanks for having
She's
me.
the friend.
Me too. I'm a tree.
Ladies, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Giselle Ugarte on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Giselle Ugarte Official. And yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, and I'm Madison Chase Fit on Twitter, Instagram. I think I'm Madison Chase Fitness on Instagram. And then YouTube, I'm One Mad Chase.
Excellent. And again, just don't forget to find Rachel DiPillo at Rachel DiPillo and her movie. One more time, Hello, My Name is Frank, June 6th. And you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi, on Instagram at the Stephanie Giorgi. And thank you so much for staying with us the entire season. Catch up with us again. Follow us on Twitter. Talk to us. Remind
up
us
with
of
the
anything.
season.
Yeah, and let us know what you guys think. We love you all so much. Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.